The pool noodles were designed for the team's defender. During a drill, rather than having to perform a normal tackle, all the defender would have to do is tag the ball carrier for a tackle to count, allowing them to keep that social distancing.
Thanks, Emily. St. Bonaventure is just minutes away from taking the court for their final practice before heading to Dayton, with a chance to claim their second Atlantic 10 championship tournament in program history Sunday afternoon. The formula is simple this weekend for the Bonnies. Win, and they're in the NCAA tournament. Lose, and head coach Mark Schmidt is still confident his team's resume is strong enough to allow them to go dancing next week as an at-large bid.
Johnson is one of 8 student athletes who will be taking that extra year of eligibility. Another one of those student athletes you can find right on this field in the spring, who will be bringing the heat in what he's looking at as a redemption season. One of the main safety precautions that the league takes are with the kids' helmets, which are sent back to the manufacturer, in this case Zenith, each year to be recertified. That includes updating the padding, which, as you can see, is about 1.5 inches thick on the inside, as well as replacing the face mask. After successfully rehabbing from his arm injury, White returned in 2020 to pitch for just the first time in 2 years, only to have that season cut short by COVID-19. After being thrown yet another curveball, so to speak, White admits that his love of the game wavered, but it never broke. Colonials turning defense into offense. Hunter Dean with the pilfer and the jam at the other end. But St. Bonaventure, out of the media timeout, does have the 8-6 edge. Looking to extend on their 2-game winning streak and get one step closer to clinching that coveted regular season title. Still 1 game to go on the regular season slate after this. 4 to shoot for the Bonnies off the inbound. Welch is going to hoist from deep. Got it!
What do you say at this point? I said it feels like he's going to make it every time. That one was deep in the Riley Center.
Coming off a game against Davidson in which he made 5 from long range. That tied a season high for threes for Dom Welch. He's got 2 in the early going tonight.
He came in shooting over 41%. That's going up real quick.
Shot clock already down to single digits for the Colonials. The last ditch effort from Bishop left it short.
They've done a good job on Bishop so far, making it tough for him every time he touches the basketball.
And that was just the first shot that Bishop was able to get up. Ricky Lindo also 0 for 3 from the floor. Holmes off the shot fake, draws 2 defenders, swings it for Lofton near side. Step back jumper off the mark. Bishop will track down the long rebound.
He wasn't really in balance after he had the filthy crossover. You could see it the way the shot leaked out right.
Do you mind Kyle Lofton with that newfound confidence from deep taking that shot?
Not at all. You prefer it. If he has the confidence back, that's huge for this team. You'll live with your guy taking a shot like that.
Battle using the left hand on the turnaround and coming up empty as Welch comes down with the rebound. Holmes now trying it from long range. Unable to hit. Rebound battle.
Still would like the Bonnies to get something going inside. I know they've made threes the last couple of ball
games.
They're
a running gun team now, Chris.
Well, as Coach Schmidt likes to say, offense is fickle. That's why we play defense.
Attaway coming up with the steal. Bonnie's looking to push, but they don't have numbers, so Welch will slow things down. Welch gonna try it again. This time a bit too strong, this back iron. And Oshuni got his hand in there. It's gonna save an extra possession for the Bonnies.
Yeah, a bit of a heat check for Dom there.
And the narrative for much of the season, Chris, was the inability of this St. Bonaventure team to be effective from beyond the arc. Now that they add that element on offense, they become that much more dangerous going into March.
Well, that's the only thing they didn't really do well, and now you have the ability to maybe come back in games when you're down because you can make threes, and you're already unbelievable defensively at 18th in the entire country.
Much of the season, this team was in the bottom half of the conference in three-point percentage. Now they're tied for 3rd. Attaway with the baseline runner, falls off the table, and there's Dean crashing the glass.
Good pass from Oshuni. He felt the double team, found Attaway in the corner, just unable to finish that tough floater. Freshman for the Colonials, Tyler Brelsford into the game.
first substitution for either side. I imagine we're not going to see many tonight. Double team coming on Dean. Knocked away, it will stay this side.
Good double and knock that out of that. I don't know that you need to double that, but very effective nonetheless.
7 to shoot for George Washington off of the inbound. Brailsford looking for some help, finds it in Dean. GW's got to get something up. Bishop nearly knocked it down.
It's crazy, that's the most space he's even had today so far.
Lofton doing a commendable job defensively against the leading scorer in the A-10, James Bishop. Turnaround won't fall for Oshuni.
He was just a little too deep, had to use the glass at that point.
Bonnie's 0 for the last 5, so things slowing down offensively, really for both teams, as Welch called for the foul.
He doesn't like it either. He thought it was all ball.
We're going to get another substitution. The big fella, Noel Brown, in for GW. Freshman out of Leesburg, Virginia, as Dean will take a seat.
It's a big body in there for sure, and could be a big building block for GW. It's coming off one of his best games.
You know, Oshuni's given up about 50 pounds on him, but he comes away with the ball there. Back come the Bonnies, just 6 points in this first half for George Washington. They're 3 of 10 from the floor. Welch, again from deep.
That's basically a layup. If you try to go under a screen with Dominic Welch, you're giving up 3 points at this point. He is so locked in. Too easy for the Bonnies.
That is now 9 straight games he's connected on multiple three-pointers. And in 3 of those, he's hit 4 or more. I imagine it's going to be 4 of those he's hit 4 or more before long. GW goes inside to Brown. Can't connect on the turnaround.
I think Oshuni got a piece of that one too.
Bonnie's a chance to make this a double-digit game. Feed for Oshuni, two-handed flush.
Way too easy inside. Beautiful little pick and roll. Oshuni throws it down.
That lead out to 10 for St. Bonaventure. Coach Christian wants a minute to talk things over with his guys. We'll take a timeout along with him. You're watching Atlantic 10 Men's College Basketball on ESPN+.
It is Saturday, March 13th. We have T-minus 27 hours to the biggest game of the Atlantic 10 season.
Every Saturday morning, you can hear the voice of St. Bonaventure freshman Dustin Green resonating throughout the radio room at WSBU, the university's radio station. It's one of many involvements Green partakes in as a sports media major in the Jandoli School of Communication. He's taking the first steps to fulfilling a dream of being a sports play-by-play broadcaster, and he's not about to let anything stand in his way of achieving that dream, not even cerebral palsy.
The cerebral palsy, I received the information probably when he was about 2 months old, when he was supposed to start rolling over or crawling. We didn't see those, he didn't hit those milestones when he was supposed to hit them.
You receive the diagnosis, you find out it's cerebral palsy. At that moment, what's going through your head? What are some of those emotions like?
It's questions. Why did it happen? How did it happen? What did I do wrong? And then you just learn to cope with it. You learn to figure it out.
Green hasn't just coped with this disorder, he's conquered it. The success he's already had in the broadcasting field stems from the positive mindset he maintains that allows him to overcome the physical limitations of cerebral palsy.
Just because Tommy's got 2 legs that work, I got 2 legs too. They work in a much different way. Physical appearance, mental appearance don't make a human a human. What makes a human is the DNA that they have. Don't sing and don't be ashamed to be you.
And it's not just cerebral palsy Green's battling with. He's hearing impaired as well. But little did the Green family know that what originally appeared to be yet another obstacle Dustin had to overcome would instead serve as an avenue, gravitating him towards sports broadcasting.
We spent a lot of time at Grandma's house Grandma was a Yankees and a Buffalo Bills fan. So he spent a lot of time watching those sports with her. And at a young age, he had hearing aids. We didn't realize until he was probably 12 that it was worse than what we originally thought. He never watched cartoons and we couldn't figure out why. Well, it was because he's a lip reader. So with the sports, he could read the commentator's lips and he just ran with it.
And Green has faced his fair share of non-believers. In fact, those who have doubted his abilities in the past served as the fuel he needed to come to St. Bonaventure.
Mere weeks before I got my acceptance letter to St. Bonaventure, I was told, don't go there, that school's too big for you, you won't make it. And at that point, I wasn't even going to go there. And then I came home that day and I said, really, I'm not going to make it there. And I came out to the living room and said, we need to figure this out, I'm going to Bonaventure. I'm out to prove you wrong. Like, that's what I'm out to do.
Those who have worked closely with Green know not to make that same mistake. His tenacious work ethic quickly gained him respect among his peers, and he inspires those closest to him to strive for greatness, just as he does.
The tenacity of Dustin, the willingness of him to do whatever it takes to achieve a certain goal. And at the same time, if I ask him to do something, it'll be the same thing. It'll be to get a certain goal done, and he'll jump at the opportunity to help.
Few people understand the obstacles Green has had to overcome to reach this point in his young career better than his mother. A woman who's made countless sacrifices to accommodate Green's disabilities. It's reassuring to see her son flourishing at a university that has made him feel like he belongs.
I don't have words. I mean, the kid doesn't cease to amaze me on a daily basis. I mean, for the hearing impairment that he has, and us being told that we'd be lucky if he said 3 words, the kid is the biggest social butterfly I've ever seen. So I kind of let him path his own road and go from there.
It's everybody coming together, race, gender, ability, melt it into one environment. And St. Bonaventure is really the only place in this area that I found that.
Green has his doubts about whether he's cut out for a career as a play-by-play broadcaster. Should he decide to go a different route, though, it's clear he has options to fall back on. But wherever his journey takes him at St. Bonaventure, one thing's for certain: he will continue to challenge himself in whatever he does.
I think about high, I hope, because every day I wake up, that bar goes up in 1 inch high. There was a point in time where I said, do I even want to go to college? Do I have what it takes to get there? And yes, I do. And I'm really proud of how far I've come.
Reporting for SBU-TV, I'm Tommy Valentine. New, now, next.
I am Dustin Green. Thank you for tuning in to Body Access. So long until next week.
Well, fresh off a 6-15 season for the St. Bonaventure women's basketball team, losing their 3rd and 4th leading scorers to the transfer portal wasn't the start to the offseason the team was hoping for. Deja Francis and Olivia Brown were 2 of 6 Bonnies who entered their names into the transfer portal. Our Grace Foley met with head coach Jesse Fleming this week as he offers the reasoning behind the departures and details how the team intends to reload for next season. Hello and welcome to another edition of Bonnie's Insider, brought to you by Universal Primary Care. I'm your host, Tommy Valentine. And what a special show we have in store for you this week. Only 2 segments on the docket, but each highlights an aspect of what sets apart St. Bonaventure from any other program in the country: our involvement in the community and our remarkable alumni. Featured in our alumni spotlight is former Bonnie's men's basketball player Tyler Ralph, who has made quite the name for himself in the basketball world during his postgraduate years. We'll be hearing from him later on in the show. No better way to lead off the show, though, than by taking a look at the athletic department's involvement with Friends of Jacqueline. And it's a matchup of two teams with drastically different playing styles. St. Bonaventure, slow, methodical, defense-driven. LSU, they like to get out and score, and they have the pieces to do just that.
We know it's a Southeast Conference team. They're really athletic. They're really skilled. They got a couple pros, first-round picks on in their starting five. So it's almost like an NBA type of style of play. A lot of ISOs, and but it's a challenge that we're looking forward to.
One of those future first-round draft picks might just be LSU's Cameron Thomas. The electric freshman averages over 20 points per game. He's the one in the 1-2 punch that makes up the Tigers' backcourt. The other perimeter star is Javonte Smart. Smart can dial it up from deep. He's shooting 42% from beyond the arc and was a member of that 2019 Sweet 16 team. But St. Bonaventure offers a few players capable of lighting up the scoreboard as well. All 5 of their starters average in double figures in scoring. The Bonnies want to keep it a low-scoring affair, but the leader of that group believes they can keep pace with LSU's high-octane offense if needed. For what would be just the second time in his 6-year collegiate career, Andrew White faces an opportunity to play a full season of baseball. And for a young man who's endured a career littered with obstacles, that opportunity is not something he's about to take for granted.
Baseball is really all I've had since I was like 5 years old. I got to take in every moment, even when I'm not on the field, just being on the bench with the guys. And we're struggling right now. We got to figure out a way to put it all together, and we're gonna turn it around, and I'm just gonna soak in every second while we do.
White's journey to St. Bonaventure began at the University of Buffalo, where he played for 2 years before the program was cut. Then, Tommy John surgery to repair a torn UCL robbed him of his 1-year junior college and his first season at Bonaventure. After successfully rehabbing from his arm injury, White returned in 2020 to pitch for just the first time in 2 years, only to have that season cut short by COVID-19. After being thrown yet another curveball, so to speak, White admits that his love of the game wavered, but it never broke.
I'd be lying if I told you during this process there weren't times where I absolutely hated baseball. But there was always that little piece of me that kept bringing me back. Like I said, it's like one of the only things I've ever really had.
White is coming off the best performance of his Bonnies career, where he dealt 6 scoreless innings against George Mason. Knowing the work White's put in to reach this point, his head coach is pleased to see that translate to success on the mound.
It would have been easy a long time ago to say, no, I'm done with this, I'm going to get my degree, I'm going to move on. But he kept battling through it. When you see a guy that's battled through all those things as long as he has, it's nice to see him have some success.
And White, of course, set lofty goals for himself this season, but his primary focus doesn't necessarily include his play on the diamond.
There's a very big disconnect with the younger guys on the team now. I've been a natural leader my entire life. I've just been trying to instill some values that I've learned. That's been my biggest thing for this year, is just trying to teach the young guys so that someone can step in for me when I'm gone.
A sport defined by its physicality and close contact, social distancing has been no easy task for head rugby coach Tui Osborne and his team. So to make the most out of their preseason training, Osborne had to get creative.
We had to improvise and be resourceful, so we bought some pool noodles. If you may. We had to cut them in half just so it's a bit more realistic to how we would tag someone.
The pool noodles were designed for the team's defender. During a drill, rather than having to perform a normal tackle, all the defender would have to do is tag the ball carrier for a tackle to count, allowing them to keep that social distancing. The noodles are now a thing of the past, and the team has already been cleared to transition to using flags instead. Of course, practices are still far from being normal, but there are a few upsides of the new normal.
The one thing that I personally like about these practices is that it's smaller groups, so you get a lot more personal development and interaction with the players and the coaches.
Perhaps even more impressive than the creative training techniques is the united approach the team has taken towards going about social distancing protocols the right way.
I tell my coaches, hey, if I'm missing something, let me know. And, I tell the captains, let's try and win this week with the COVID protocol. That's our goal as a coaching staff, is to make sure we're on top of things so everyone's being safe.
Osborne is hopeful his team's diligence and progress will allow them to start playing some intra-squad scrimmages soon. For SBU-TV Sports, I'm Tommy Valentine. New, now, next.